is served in the capital. No matter what is going on that is against the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what it is, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it clear that as long as someone is calling the people to submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and somebody is responding, it doesn't have to be a lot of them, but as long as somebody is responding, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will extend the life of that nation. So if you and I are derelict in our duties, if you and I think that dawah is just for a dawah committee, that as long as the dawah committee is doing it, I'm done with my responsibility, then we're getting closer and closer to the time. I joke a lot with some of the young people in the masjid that I attend. And they know I'm joking and I don't stretch it out so they get confused, but I tell them as young people, don't make too many long-range plans. You know, there is a thing called the end of this earth. There is a Yom Kippur. So get ready to see Isa alayhi salam on CNN, because they'll probably be there to show it to us, for Isa to descend in Damascus. And you won't see the angels holding him up, but we know that that's what's going to be holding him up when he comes down. So don't make any long-term plans. But the reality is that every single day, you and I have to live the lives that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have us live, that we are capable of living, calling people to the submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me just give a couple more points and I'll be done. And that is, a number of our speakers have talked about doing things in the society, doing things in the society that would serve as dawah. We have to find those things that we can actively get involved in, whether it's helping others, building Habitat for Humanity houses, speaking out, taking a stand. Find those areas that we can give a kind of assertive expression of Islam in the life of the general community. Let me close on this particular note. And the time got by me and I apologize for that. I have two quick notes. And I'm not taking advantage of him because he's a young person. I'll say it within my 3-minute allotted time. But on my two quick notes, one is that it has been mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that opens the heart to guide people to Islam. We can talk till we're blue and red in the face, all we want, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens their heart, they will not be guided to this faith. We can't threaten, la ikraha fi din, there's no compulsion. We can't do any of these things. We have a responsibility to set the best example that we can, and then make dua sincerely that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide the people that we are living around and trying to set a good example, or we are calling to this faith. One important aspect of this process of dawah and shahada, and I think we should take very serious note of this. I've mentioned this in a number of places because as I get older in Islam, I'm seeing more and more of it. A number of years ago, a very dear Muslim, Ilyas Yunus, may Allah have mercy on him, had a study about people taking shahada in the United States. And when I read his statistics and his body of work, I disagreed with him immediately. This can't be true. What is he talking about? But when I read what he said that 70% of the people who embrace Islam, who become Muslim in the United States, and he did this survey in the 90s, 70% returned to disbelief. 70%. And when I read it, I said, oh no, Brother Ilyas, I love you as a brother. I respect your work, but this can't be right. But the older I get in Islam, the more I see. Give you a quick example. This past year, we decided at our mosque that we would do a new Muslim appreciation dinner. That we would, the people who had embraced Islam within the last year, that we would call them together at the masjid, and the community would celebrate and re-celebrate their shahada, and just make them feel that it wasn't just at the point of taking shahada on that particular day, and now everybody's forgotten, people have been working with you and all like this. And what we realized as we went through those copies of the shahada forms that we had, that probably 80% of the people that I had been a part of, so many of them, I had no idea who these people were or how we could find them. At least 80%. So we said, well, with the numbers that we have, alhamdulillah, we give a lot of shahadas in the masjid, we're going to have to stretch this back a few more years. We're going to have to go back 5 years now in order to have any appreciable number of people who have taken shahada. So the work, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you with that proverbial red camel, it's like getting a Lexus or a Jaguar or something like that today. Get 10 of them, 100 of them. But helping to guide someone to Islam, know that the work is just beginning. Final point. This is my absolute final point. And that is another teaching moment. Another teaching moment. When we want this religion, this way of life, this deen ul-haq, to have a continuous life in this country, in these United States, when we want, let's be more specific, when we want our sons and our daughters, when we want our grandchildren, when we have gone on, when we want them to continue the practice of Islam and the pushing forth the banner of La ilaha illallah, then you and I have to recognize that the only way that these young people in particular are going to feel empowered by Islam is to do what's been done tonight and do 100 times more of it. Have a young person, not just moderating the program, but have young people speaking to old gray-beard people like me. Value their wealth. Don't treat them like they're little babies when they come to the mosque and just give them a basketball and say, well, we got a gym and here go, shoot some basketball, while we're sitting around talking serious issues. Involve them, include them. They're not babies. They can help us understand this new technology. They can help us understand the psyches of the people. And then to help address this issue of Islam oppresses women, we have to start including maintaining the integrity of the sisters in whatever way our individual masajid may feel that they should be maintained, but our sisters have valuable input to make. So it doesn't just have to always be, and I'm not being critical, believe me. I'm starting with myself. I'm talking about the community mosque in Winston-Salem first. I'm making a general statement we have to involve in a meaningful way 1/2 of our population in our centers, in our masjid. We have to involve in a meaningful way our sisters. We have to, in a meaningful way, to involve our children, because if we don't get them involved, there are plenty who are out there to find something for them to get involved with. Assalamu alaikum.